In this video, I'm going to show you how to instantly relieve hip pain from sitting for too long. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over a two-part guide that's going to make it really easy to get both quick and long-lasting hip pain relief from being seated for too long. In the first part, we're going to focus on releasing tight muscles for instant relief. In the second part, we're going to switch gears and focus on long-lasting relief by doing strengthening exercises. Each part is a little bit different, but they are meant to work together. So go through all the exercises and use what gives you the most relief. With that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that we need to do is focus on releasing muscle tightness that builds from sitting too long. Let's begin by targeting the hamstring muscle, the big muscle on the back of the thigh. This one usually causes a lot of cramps that can work upwards towards the hip. So what I'm going to do is start off by taking one leg and just straightening it out like this, and I like to sit a little bit closer towards the edge of a chair. From here, I'm going to take the heel on this straight leg and just gently press it down into the floor to the point where I feel a light activation of the muscles around the hip. This would include the glutes. I then want to make sure that my back is nice and straight, so have very good upright posture. From here, the movement is very straightforward. Imagine your hips right here. What we're going to try to do is rock them forward. So an easy way to be able to do that is to imagine your tailbone, press it down into the chair, so kind of scoop it backward like this. When you do this, you're going to feel your hips start to rock forward, putting them into an anterior pelvic tilt. But more importantly, you're going to feel a really deep stretch form right here on the back of your thigh over the hamstrings. Go to the point where it is a deep but comfortable stretch. You want to hold this one 20 to 30 seconds, release it, and then repeat this 3 to 5 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. From there, I would switch sides and repeat just to help keep everything in balance. So the next muscles that we're going to target are probably the most important ones because they cause the most amount of hip pain, which would be the glutes, the buttocks, and a muscle underneath it called the piriformis. So for this one, we're going to do what is called a seated figure 4 or a pigeon pose. I always like to start with the side that I'm having the most amount of hip pain. Let's say it's my right side. What you're going to do is take that side's ankle and place over your other side's knee. So when you look down, it should look like a figure 4. If you have a lot of difficulty getting into this position, to make it easier, just straighten this other leg out like this, put your ankle over your shin, that way you can grab your pant leg or in front of the shin and then slide it up into position. But people that have a lot of glute tightness, in this position with gravity just pulling your leg down, it's probably going to be a very deep, intense stretch. So if that's the case, just let gravity take it downward as much as you can handle. And if you need to control it, just cup around your knee like this and raise your knee up to have a little bit less of a stretch. But for most people, we're going to need to take this one to the next level. So what we want to do is take this bent knee and just press it downward towards the floor, but don't use your hands. Instead, use your leg and hip strength. The more that you press down, the more that you're going to feel a deep activation into the glutes and the piriformis muscle. It should feel like a deep stretch right across your hip. I like to hold this one comfortably for 5 seconds, release, and then repeat this 10 times. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels pretty good, I would move on to the next stretch that we're going to do, but if it feels like it needs a couple more repetitions, you're more than welcome to throw in as many as you like. Just remember, whatever you do on one side, switch to the other side and repeat to help keep everything in balance. So here's one of my absolute favorite stretches for hip pain, especially from being seated too long. What I'm going to do is start in my figure 4 position, just kind of cup around my knee with my hands just like this, and then I pull my knee across my body towards the other side's shoulder. As you do this, you're going to feel a deep stretch form on the outside of your leg right here that works towards your hips. This one really helps stretch and open up the glutes. Hold this one 20 to 30 seconds, and during that time period, just do nice, slow, controlled breathing. Let out as much tension as you can. From there, release it, and then repeat this 3 to 5 times, and then switch to the other side to make sure everything is kept in balance. But go through all of these moves. You're probably going to find that one just helps you out a little bit more. At that point, throw more repetitions in, and this is a great series of stretches that you can use throughout the day. So after we have the muscles nice and loose, we're now going to move on to the most important and probably most overlooked part of getting hip pain relief. That is strengthening exercises. Simply put, You can do every single super duper magical unicorn pain relief exercise on YouTube. If you do not have the strength to support your hips, it won't mean a thing. So here's 2 really easy exercises that you can use daily to quickly strengthen your hips, and you may find will also give you some pain relief. The first one is what I call hip clocks. What we're going to need is a chair sturdy enough to support our body weight, and preferably one without wheels. What you want to do is start with the painful side. So have the non-painful side or the least painful side closest towards the chair, and just grab onto the top of the chair for support. What you want is your body nice and straight. Take the painful leg and put it out in front of you just like this, and what I like to do is point my toes slightly towards the floor just to activate my calf muscles. So this position straight ahead is going to be 12 o'clock noon. What we're going to do is slowly raise our leg upward as much as we can until we feel a deep activation of the muscles on the front of the thigh right here, the hip flexors, but you should also start to feel a lot of muscles across the hip engage. Hold this one comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds and then release it. On the next repetition, go over just a little bit, maybe about 12:30, and then repeat. What you're going to notice is it hits the muscles just a little bit differently. So keep going in different positions of the clock. Work your way towards the side, towards 3 o'clock, and then go backwards towards 6 o'clock if you're able to. If you're even more able to, try to go towards 7 o'clock. But as you do this, what you're going to find is that one certain spot, maybe for me about 2 o'clock, is just the most tight, achy, or it just feels like it's really weak in the hip. At that point, treat it like your weak link and throw in about 5 to 10 repetitions. So if you really want to take this one to the next level, what you can do at that point is add in hip rotation to not only improve flexibility of the hip, but also strengthen the muscles. So with this one, let's get back into our 12 o'clock noon position. But what I'm going to do as I raise my leg up, I'm going to turn my foot inward like this, putting the hip into internal rotation. So just kind of turn it in as much as you can and then lift it up. It's much more challenging, but you're going to feel those muscles really fight to stabilize this position. You can also put the hip into external rotation by turning your foot outward like this. So give that a try in as many different positions as possible and target the weak links. And just remember, when you're done on one side, switch to the other side and repeat to help keep everything in balance. So the second exercise is the king of lower body exercises, and this would be the squat. I know a lot of people shy away from the squat, but it helps make everyday activities that much easier to do, such as walking, going up and down stairs, getting out of a chair or off a toilet. So a very easy way to be able to do the squat is just start facing your chair, preferably again a chair that can support our body weight and without wheels, and you're just going to put your fingers right here on top of the chair. I like to have a stance in which my feet are a little bit wider than my hips, and I like to point my toes out just a little bit, maybe about 5 to 10 degrees. It'll help take tension off the knees. The most important thing during this exercise is to place all of our body weight onto our heels. It will help protect the back, keep your body straight, and just offer you a better balance, I should say. I also like to lightly brace my core muscles. It's kind of like when somebody pokes you in your stomach, how you tense up. Just do a light activation of your abs and your core muscles. It will further protect the spine. So once we've done all of that, let's face our chair right here. Have very good upright posture. Keep your back as straight as possible. You're just going to slightly bend your knees and now squat your bottom down and away from the chair. The goal is to go down as far as you feel comfortable, and also you should feel a really good activation across the hips. Once you feel a really good activation, you're going to hold this position for about 3 to 5 seconds. You're going to come back up, take a breather. On the next repetition, challenge yourself to go down even further. I like to do this for about 10 to 15 repetitions. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.